they were toying with the idea. I don't think they ever actually enforced it, but it was enough to scare me off. They were toying with the idea of forcing you to live within the borough that you worked. So $28,000 a year would have been the entry fee during that time of 2005.
Okay.
Yeah, there's overtime. Yeah, I would have been able to transfer out, eventually gotten to Nassau or Suffolk. There was a whole trajectory to try to get me there. And I appreciated the idea of working towards that. But I also knew that I could make $60,000 to $70,000 my first year as a real estate agent, which was 2 to 3 times the amount that they were promising me, and I didn't have to get shot at. And it only took 75 hours to get the real estate. Well, 45 hours when I got my real estate license. I don't want to say that real estate just sounded better, but my mom was actually very upset that I didn't move forward with the police officer job. She says, "I want you to have a pension. I want you to have that steady paycheck, and then you could always sell real estate on the side." And yeah, I said to her those life sacrifices I would make to have a career over making a career would probably leave me shorter where I wanted to be. And
But now now you're with real estate investors, so you're able to kind of create your own pension and your
100%.
Anthony's own 401k, which through buy and holds, they'll pay you forever. I mean,
the last 10 years in real estate has paid me 3 times the amount that I would have made if I would have actually been a police officer getting ready to retire, which I would have gotten. I would have been getting ready to retire. So
really, yeah. And speaking of police officers, I'm actually going to be interviewing one this next week and putting out a podcast on that. And I forget if he's in New York City or Suffolk. You might know. Jovi?
Yeah. It's so hard. I think he's Suffolk. And then I think his spouse also was a first responder of some type. And I mean, look, shout out to all the police officers, nurses, and everyone who just do it. One of the things I hate about awards inside of real estate is that they're not given out to police officers for them doing their job on a given day. But for some reason, our industry needs to put awards on it. So I'll pass any award anybody ever wants to give me on to a police officer who actually goes out there and does something meaningful every day. But I knew that wasn't supposed to be me. So.
All right. Well, if it was, I'd give you an award.
Thanks.
Putting your life on the line and getting shit for it from other people.
100%.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any sense at all.
100%.
So you started off as a real estate agent, and then where'd you go from there?
Yeah, so from real estate agent, which was a struggling thing because I did it in my 20s while being 20s. And then I moved on to team leader. I found this following of people that kept asking me for advice. And I said, I should actually make something out of this. So I loosely formed a team, not once, not twice, but 3 times. And the third time stuck. And after the third time, things went really well. And I realized that my passion for teaching and seeing the excitement, you teach a man to fish, right? You feed him for life. That whole excitement that I got out of doing that for all the agents that I've brought into the industry that are still selling houses today and everything, I wanted to do that at scale. So I got into real estate coaching after building the team. And the real estate coaching, when you know it, let me hear. And now we're doing the COO thing for the company, and I still do my real estate coaching for Jared James, which thank you very much for Jared for giving me that opportunity. It's been 13 years of knowing him, and any opportunity he's ever had to open a door for me, he's done so. And I would not be where I am today if it wasn't for kind of walking through a lot of those open doors. And same thing goes for yourself and Melissa too. You guys opened some doors for me as well, and very appreciative of it.
Absolutely. And so I also heard that you have a book coming out, and
yeah,
what is that about?
So I've been I turned 40 June 2nd this year, which because you guys threw me a wonderful party. Thank you
again. Happy birthday.
Thank you. So it made me realize that without getting overly sappy and dramatic about the entire thing, like, life is short, right? So when you think about the fact that I've probably lived 50% of my life expectancy already, have I crossed off some of the mile markers that I would have expected to by getting to this point, right? And I do want to say that I think I have, right? My family is great, my home life is great, I have a lot of things that are really supportive of me, and overall, down to the dogs, which drive us both nuts. But my God, I checked a lot of those boxes, but real estate has no retirement plan. When you leave the industry, no one even notices actually.
Right.
There's no planned retirement plan. There's no last day. There's no clock out.
There's
Like
no gold
literally, you just
watch. There's no gold watch
no,
given you either.
no. You literally just do your last deal one day and you disappear. And I'd be lying if I didn't say that that thought scared the hell out of me. So the book is called From Farm to Closing Table.
Okay.
And it's most of what I have done, plus a lot of new stuff that's come about because I think everyone has to remember when I got into real estate I was 23 and it was 2007. You know, you could barely buy Zillow leads. They weren't available yet. Facebook marketing really wasn't where it's at today, and social media barely existed to the extent where it does right now. So all the new ways that people know how, look, you could probably buy someone's book on social media, but farming and creating relationships has been everything that's gotten me to where I am today, including sitting with you, right?
Right.
It's really always been the relationships. And I wanted to pass that on to anybody who truly wants to get out of the rat race of real estate.
There you go.
Because, that constant need to go fishing by yourself instead of getting on a boat one day and coming back with enough fish to eat for a month, maybe, I think is so crucial for people to understand at an earlier age and an earlier part of their career, because it took too long for me to learn it. Right. So I'm 18 years into the industry and it took the better part of the first 8 years. And then I put those real lessons to practice for 10 years. And now I have a life that is very much comfortable. And I don't worry about when my next closing is. And I'm not fearful on where I can get business from. And I'm not worried about losing anything for the lack of being able to get into the idea of where does business come from. So once again, I wrote the book because I wanted to give something back to the industry that gave me the peace of mind to never have to worry about where I was making money from again. And it just was kind of like a thank you, I guess, to the industry itself. Like, because, it's not about to give me a gold watch, but it's giving me plenty of them at the same time. Right. So while no one will be awaiting my retirement day, and who knows, it might have already came already. But it surely, I needed to do something to make sure that I myself felt like I was closing a chapter to something that really was very special and important to me for very long. And I wanted to pass that gift along. So there's the book.
Excellent. When does that come out?
So we are putting the finishing touches on it. I think the copyright is actually waiting to be approved. It's in now. So the first copy of it should honestly be published by the end of next week. So fingers crossed if that actually goes smooth.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll see the book by August 1st. That's my goal.
Okay, and then we'll put a link for it on the website and everything so that the listeners could purchase it too.
Thank you.
Would you consider yourself actually out of the rat race, or do you think you're getting to the finishing line?
I'm in a new race.
Okay.
I said something to somebody the other day. I was like, I used to be a player on the field and now I'm sitting in an owner's box. It doesn't mean that I don't have to work anymore though. Just my work's a lot different. It's at a different level that requires a lot more time. I'm actually spending more time in the office now than I did as a real estate agent. That's just the byproduct of the position that I've decided to move into. But that's, yes, essentially if you can create yourself enough systems and processes to take care of something that's sustainable, you could find yourself out of any kind of rat race. You just have to be willing to make sure that you commit to something that's structured and consistent enough to create some predictability in a business that it honestly doesn't have much predictability to it, but you can make it. That's the nice thing about this business.
Very well put. Okay, so this month's event is on lead generation and off-market deals.
Yep.
Putting you on the spot, so don't get mad.
Yeah.
But
no, not at all.
What would you say to me that would make me want to attend this event? Like, what lessons am I going to learn?
Yeah, honestly, I think you'd probably just have to watch some of our testimonials from some of our students, which are definitely out there for the scene. If you've ever wondered what you would do if you lost your job tomorrow, I have the answer for you.
What is that?
Just come down to the event and we'll tell you.
Very well put. Well put. Is there anything else you wanted to add?
No. I mean, this is so much fun. Thank you.
All right, no problem, man. Again, an absolute privilege that you've taken the time out of your incredibly busy day to speak with me. I really do appreciate it. Can't wait to have you on the show again. And guys, we have a lot of amazing people like Anthony in our organization. Anthony's like one of the most important sails on our ship. Go to outoftheratracepodcast.com, register, and sign up for August's event. Lead generation for off-market deals. You're going to learn how to bait hooks in chum waters. Go to the contact section of the website and tell me things you want to hear about. If you have questions for Anthony, you could also write me. I'll ask him. And if there's enough of them, I'll bring him back on the show to have him talk about him. And when you see me at the events, please stop by and say hello. Special thanks to you, Anthony, Melissa, Bobby, and everyone else that helps bring you this content. Until next time, love you guys. Peace.
Thanks, guys.